Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss the graphical solution of linear program problem. All right. Now in the previous session, what we have seen is under a given constraint of raw material and under a given labor hours constraint, what was the maximum profit organization can earn, and what was the total number of products that can be manufactured. So these were the two different variants which we had studied, correct? Now for determining that, in the previous session what we did was we used the simplex method to determine all those things. In this session we will determine the same thing, that is, we will try to determine the total number of products that can be manufactured under a given constraint, as well as the total maximum profit that can be earned. So that will be the two parameters, but only thing is that the methodology will be different. The methodology used to determine that will be graphical method. Okay, so graphical method. So here we are going to solve linear program problem using graphical method. All right, now this is the question statement. The same question we are going to use again. We have solved this using simplex method. This was example 1, if you are able to recall this, correct, where z is equal to 40x1 plus 35x2. Raw material was 2x1 plus 3x2 smaller than or equal to 60. Labor hour constraint was 4x1 plus 3x2 smaller than or equal to 96. Okay, so this was the whole context. Now x1 and x2, that is the total number of product A and product B, should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this all things we have seen in the previous class or the previous session. I will just go ahead and try to indicate how to determine product A and total number of product B using graphical method. All right, now first we will consider the first equation, that is 2x1 plus 3x2 smaller than or equal to 60, which is given in the question. All right, now what we are first assuming is that the company will not manufacture any number of product A. What is given is x1 is nothing but it is the total number of product A that is manufactured. Okay, now what we are assuming here is that we are assuming that total number of product A manufactured is 0. Okay, so in that case the maximum number of product B, that means the company is focusing only on product B, that is the context here. Okay, now what is the maximum number of product B that can be manufactured is 20. Okay, so the calculation is here, 3x2 smaller than or equal to 60, x2 is smaller than or equal to 60 divided by 3, and x2 is smaller than or equal to 20. Okay, now that is the reason we can write point A as x1 as 0, in which case x2 will be equal to 20. Okay, so this will be point A. Why we are writing point A? Because we are trying to solve this graphically. Okay, now next, in the same equation 2x1 plus 3x2 smaller than or equal to 60, now we are trying to assume that number of product B manufactured is 0. Okay, so that is the reason x2 is considered as 0. Okay, now what will happen to this equation is that 2x1 will be smaller than or equal to 60, x1 is smaller than or equal to 30. Okay, so we can write point B as 30 comma 0. How that 30 comma 0 comes is because of this 30 is here and 0 is here. Okay, next, similarly we will consider the second equation, 4x1 plus 3x2 smaller than or equal to 96. I'm just going back to the previous page to indicate the second equation. This is that second equation, 4x1 plus 3x2 smaller than or equal to 96. Okay, now considering this equation, again the same step gets repeated. First we are going to consider x1 as 0 and we try to determine what is x2. x2 is smaller than or equal to 30. Point C is nothing but 0 and 32. Okay, and similarly we are assuming x2 as 0 in this particular equation. So what will happen is 4x1 smaller than or equal to 96. 4x1 smaller than or equal to 96. Okay, so what we are trying to do is, once we are assuming x1 as 0, and next we are trying to identify we are going to consider x2 as 0. Okay, and we are trying to determine the values. Okay, now in this case x1 will be smaller than or equal to 24. Okay, so how this 24? Because x1 will be equal to 96 divided by 4, which is equal to 24. Okay, So this is the solution here. Now point D can be written as 24, 0. Point D is written as 24, 0. Okay. Now what will happen is point A we are going to mark. Point A we have got it as just going back to the previous pages. Point A was 0, 20. Okay. Now 0, 20 is being located in the graph. Okay. 0, that is x1 is 0 and x2 is 20. x2 is considered on the y-axis and x1 is considered on the x-axis. Okay. So 0, x1 is 0 in point A, and point A in point A x2 is equal to 20. So that is the reason only we are considering the y-axis. Okay. Similarly, next is point B. Point B is 30, 0. Point B is 30, 0. So that is the reason x2 is totally 0. x2 is 0. That means x1, only x1 value is there. So that is the reason, that is 30. We are going to look at 30 and x2 is 0. So that is the reason this complete point is located only on the x-axis. Okay. Next. Now we have considered point A and we have located point A and point B on the graph. We are supposed to join these two. Okay. We are supposed to join these two. That is what is done here. Okay. Similarly, point C was 0, 32. 0, 32. Okay. Now, since x1 is 0 in point C, so that is the reason it is located on y-axis. Okay. And 32 comes somewhere here. Now you are supposed to draw this on the graph. Okay. It's very important that all these things have to be drawn on graph sheet. Okay. It's very mandatory. All this solution has to be done on the graph sheet itself. Okay. Next is point D. Point D we have determined it as 24, 0. Only x1 value is there in point D. x2 is equal to 0. That is the reason it is located on the x-axis. Okay. So 24, I am just assuming it somewhere here, that is before 25. That is the reason it is being located here. Okay. Alright. So once that is being located, these two are joined. Now the question may be, why only C and D points are being joined? Why A and C points are not joined? Because C and D points have come from the same equation, that is from the second equation. Okay. I am just going back to the previous pages. Yes. So C and D points have come from the second equation. Okay. C and D points are from the second equation. A and B are from the first equation. Okay. So that is the reason we are joining these 2 points. A is joined with B, C is joined with D. Okay. So I am just going back to the next page. So C is already joined with D point. Next, we have to consider both these points on the same graph. So in the solution, you are supposed to draw these both lines on the same graph sheet. So this is how you are going to get it. So A is here, B is here, C is here, as well as D is here. Okay. Next. So just mark the intersection point. So intersection point is this, and this we will get it as 18. Now how we are going to get this as 18 is if you draw it on the graph sheet. In the graph sheet, if you draw it, you will get this point as 18. Okay. Similarly, you will get this point as 8 if you draw it on the graph sheet. Okay. So just try to draw this in the graph sheet, and you can purchase a graph sheet and you can draw this, and you will get these 2 points. Okay. 18 and 8. Next is nothing but we have to determine which is the required area. Now what this required area means? Okay. Now what it says is, point A was x2 is smaller than or equal to 20. Okay. x2 is smaller than or equal to 20. x2 is smaller than or equal to 20 means what? Now point A smaller than or equal to 20. x2 smaller than or equal to 20 means x2 is equal to 0 to 20. x2 is equal to 0 to 20. Now that required area is this. 0 is here, 20 is here. Okay, so x2 should be between 0 and 20. Alright, now what was point B? Point B was nothing but x1 smaller than or equal to 30. That means what? X1 is equal to 0 to 30. Okay, so again this is the required area. X1 is smaller than or equal to 30. That is, this will be the required area. Now similarly for point C, this will be the required area here. Okay, and point D, if you have to see, the required area is this, that is from 0 to 20, 24. 0 to 24 is the required area, correct? Now if you have to see, I am going to shade only this area because x2 should be smaller than either 30 or 20, but here they have given that it should be compulsorily below 20 itself. So we are going to consider the least value, and I am going to shade only this particular area. Okay, what it means is that product B should be not more than 20 units. Okay, that is the case here. And similarly in this case also, product A should not be more than 24 units. That is the meaning. Okay, so that is the reason we are going to shade only this particular area. Okay, now if you are going to consider this complete constraint, okay, so only this particular area is being shaded. Okay, I'm just going to explain it once again, so just listen carefully. What this diagram means is that x2, this is x2 should not be more than 20. Okay, here from the second equation we got it as x2 should not be more than 30, but from the first equation we can only manufacture 20 units of product B. Okay, so that is the reason we cannot manufacture more than 20 units. Similarly, with the available constraint we can only manufacture 24 units of product A. We cannot manufacture 30 units of product A. Why? Because those many resources are not available. Okay, both the equations can satisfy only x1 as 24. If we consider x1 as 24, then we can satisfy both the constraints. So that is the meaning of this. Okay, so that is the reason only this area is being considered and this area is not considered here. Okay, so if you have any doubts in this, you can ask. Okay, we'll just go ahead from here. Now from this, what we consider is, we only consider the border points. Border point is D, E, A and O. Okay, so that is the reason this particular table is being developed. What it says is A, O, D and E. Okay, so only 4 points are being considered which were on the border. Okay, A is nothing but 0, 20. So I'm just going to the previous page. A is 0, 20, correct? A was nothing but 0, 20, and D is nothing but 24, 0. D is 24, 0, and E is 18, 8. So E is 18 and 8. So all these points are considered. Only border points are supposed to be considered here. So just remember that we are not supposed to consider all the points, border points of the required area. Okay, so I think I will write it here. Border points of required area. Okay, and in this the required area is this. Okay, now when we substitute, we are going to consider the profit equation in the last column. Z is equal to 40x1 plus 35x2. Now how did we get this profit equation? I'm just going back to the question statement. Z is equal to 40x1 plus 35x2. This is given in the question. Okay, so Z is equal to 40x1 plus 35x2. In this we are going to replace x1 as 0, which will be 0, x2 as 20, which will be equal to 700. Okay, The final profit will be 700. Next, D is 960 because x1 is 24 and x2 is 0. This will be equal to 960. And in the last, that is point E, we are going to consider it as 1000. Okay. Now, with this solution, what we are going to see is that the maximum profit is achieved. Maximum profit, if you have to see, this is 700, next one is 960, and this is 1000. So maximum profit is achieved with 1000. That is the reason this is the answer. Okay, this will be the solution. Okay. Okay, so what is the solution here? X1 is equal to 18. X1 is equal to 18. X2 is equal to 8. And maximum profit that can be manufactured is 1000. Okay. All right. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me or you can call me. It's better if you call. Okay. Instead of messaging me, you can call me. You can get more clarification. Okay. Thank you.